Okay, Brenda, we are now live.
Thanks. Good evening, members of the committee and members of the public. I will now call the Property Standards Committee to order. As this meeting is being held virtually, I will go over some of the rules of procedure for the benefit of members and the viewing public. All members will remain muted when not speaking for the meeting to reduce feedback. All web cameras for committee members shall be turned on. Staff will be requested to join the video meeting should the need to answer questions arise. Any member of the committee should indicate that they wish to speak by physically raising their hand. Movers and seconders of motions shall be indicated by physically raising their hand on camera, and the chair will call out who the mover and seconder are. All members of the committee participating via online video conference will vote by a physical show of hands. The chair will indicate to leave your hands raised until they have determined the result of the vote. In the event of a connection or service interruption, which affects the quorum of the committee, we may recess the meeting for up to 15 minutes in order to regain quorum. If quorum is not achieved, then the meeting will be adjourned. Appellants, agents, owners, and delegations are participating via Zoom or telephone accordingly. All persons wishing to speak to the items on the agenda were required to register by 9 a.m. Any delegations received in written format have been provided to the members of the committee and will form part of the meeting record. The clerk has taken the roll. Members of the committee, do any of you have any declarations of conflicts of pecuniary interest to make on any of the items before the committee this evening? Seeing none, there are no presentations or registered delegates for the meeting. This is a regular meeting of the Property Standards Committee. Members of the committee will hear property standards appeals, then must render decisions on the orders issued. The committee has the authority to confirm, rescind, extend, amend, and/or modify a property standards order. As the hearing is open to the public, please note that the names of persons participating in the hearing will be recorded in the minutes, which is a public record. I will now call upon Ms. Bigley for a statement.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening. The Ontario Building Code Act provides municipalities the authority to establish a property standards bylaw and require properties to conform to the standards set out in the bylaw. The City of Brantford's property standards bylaw includes an option where property owners can appeal to this committee after a property standards order has been issued. Speaking to the reports tonight will be Senior Officer Christian Teixeira, Senior Officer Jordan Tozer, Officer Kelsey Spanik, and Officer George Cook. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our first hearing is for Property Standards Order 68-21 for 44 Oxford Street, Brantford, and I will call upon staff to provide us with details of the report on this matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, everybody. My name is Christian Teixeira. I am the Senior Municipal Law Enforcement / Certified Property Standards Officer with the City of Brantford. I'm actually going to be stepping into this file in lieu of Patrick Erskine, who is off today with some medical issues. So he was actually the officer to conduct this inspection and issue all documents that pertain to this file. So I'm going to read the background information on the file as written by Patrick Erskine. So the property standards bylaw is primarily enforced on a reactive basis to complaints received by the building department. In this particular case, a complaint was received regarding property standards deficiencies at 44 Oxford Street, Brantford, Ontario. It was noted that the building was tenant occupied. A preliminary inspection was conducted on June 29th, 2021 by Patrick Erskine, who was a municipal law enforcement / property standards officer at that time. The inspection revealed a large step cracking in the north wall stairwell. Also, the balcony of unit 607 had brick and mortar that failed and was causing spalling to the bricks. A letter was sent to the property owner on July 14th, 2021, itemizing the requirements to have a professional engineer provide a report for the step cracking in the north stairwell and to repair or replace the brick and mortar on the balcony of unit 607. It was the decision of the property standards officer to move forward with the issuance of the applicable property standards order. A request was then made to the city's legal department to confirm ownership. Information was returned September 9th, 2021, that showed the subject property of 44 Oxford Street, Brantford, to be owned by Norbrook Limited, control of Alois Sablatnik of 25 Doncliffe Drive, Toronto, Ontario. Accordingly, property standards order number 68-21 was issued September 21st, 2021, requiring the repairs. A notice of appeal was then received by the building department on October 13th, 2021 from the registered owner. The appellant is requesting that the order be quashed, or if the order is upheld, additional time to complete the repairs would be required. At the time of writing this report, the property remains in non-compliance with both the issued property standards order and the property standards bylaws. Patrick Erskine does want to note that number 2 has been complied with as per the order, which number 2 on the order was in relation to the north stairwell that had the cracking to the brickwork. So we did receive a engineer report on that matter from J.H. Cahoon. It's dated September 23rd, 2021. At this time, it appears that the wall hasn't changed much since their initial inspection in 2018. They're indicating that they've placed some devices on this crack to monitor it, and they're suggesting that the owners monitor the cracks over the next 6 months to see if they increase in size. Any questions from the committee?
Are there no questions for staff at this time? Ms. Kaplan?
Through the chair to staff. Can you just please clarify for me I guess the timeline and or the actually the timeline between the issuance of the order and conversation with the owner to remedy the order rather.
Well, I can't really speak on any conversations that the officer may have had with the owner. All I can tell you is that there was an inspection performed this afternoon where myself attended the building and did observe the monitoring device on the stairwell. I also did attend Unit 607 and took a look at the brickwork, which I can inform you that no work has commenced on that brickwork on the balcony to date. But to speak about conversations and whatnot, I cannot speak on that at this time.
Are there any other questions for staff? Ms. Capoli? You're on mute, Tamara.
That's better. It's been a long day. Sorry, through you, Chair. I guess the step cracks, they're being monitored. The cracked brick in the balcony, is there a safety concern here? From the pictures, I couldn't tell exactly what kind of, like, is it just a for show balcony or is it an actual balcony that somebody's using?
Well, it's an actual balcony. It's quite high up. It's on the 6th floor of an apartment building, so it's quite high up. The brickwork isn't actually on the balcony itself. It's kind of on the face of the building, which can be in view from the balcony. So I don't think at this time that it would be considered structural damage, but again, I think that would be a better question for maybe a building inspector.
Any further questions for staff? Okay, I will call upon the appellant, Alois Sablatnik, to address the committee. Could you please, first of all, provide the committee with your full name and address?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Could I just have you please state just for the record, your full name and address?
My full name is Alois Sablatnik, 25 Doncliffe Drive, Toronto. Mike
Okay.
4/2815.
Thank you, sir. Could you please just advise the committee what you were asking for us this evening?
If I may, I'm legal representative.
If you could state your name, please.
Sure, Courtney Boyd.
Okay, and you are speaking on behalf of Mr. Sablatnik?
That's correct.
Okay, and what is he asking the committee for this evening?
Okay, so as you've heard already, item number 2 is in compliance. So we're simply asking that that be noted and that no further steps need to be taken by Mr. Sablatnik. And secondly, we're asking that the item number 1 being the exterior brick, the order either be quashed as it doesn't pose any safety or structural concerns at this time, or in the alternative that the order be extended. In our original submissions, we asked for an extension date of December 31st, 2021. However, in discussion with contractors and Mr. Sablatnik, due to the weather, my client's not able to hire a contractor to perform the brickwork until the spring of 2022. Therefore, we're asking for an extension to be granted until June 30th, 2022.
Okay. Okay, are there questions for Ms. Boyd at this time? No questions? Is there any follow-up from staff? Okay, I will entertain a motion from the committee on dealing with this appeal. Ms. Capoli?
Yeah, I'm okay with that extension. And that this appeal filed by Alois Sablatnik, owner of 44 Oxford Street in Brantford, regarding property standards order 68-21 be allowed, and that the order be confirmed and upheld by the property standards committee, but that the following extension of time be granted to address item number 1 as, let's see, June 30th, 2022. I'm fine with that.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Is there any discussion required on the motion? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
All those in favor of granting an extension until June 30th, 2022? Those opposed? Okay, the item is carried.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boyd. The committee's decision has been made on the appeal. You will receive official notification of the decision from the building department. If you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with the notification that you receive from the building department. And as the committee did not quash the order, there will be an additional administrative fee of $125 assessed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our next hearing is for property standards order 65-21 for 95 Spring Street, Brantford, and I will call upon staff for details of the report of this matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So again, my name is Christian Tashira, a senior municipal law enforcement officer with the city of Brantford. Again, I'm going to step into this file in lieu of Patrick Erskine. So I'm going to read you the exact wordage from the report from Patrick Erskine. The property standards bylaw is primarily enforced on a reactive basis to complaints received by the building department. In this particular case, a complaint was received regarding property standards deficiencies at 95 Spring Street in the city of Brantford, Ontario. It was noted that the building was tenant occupied. A preliminary inspection was conducted on April 1st, 2021 by municipal law enforcement officer / property standards officer Daniel Chadwick. The inspection revealed the flooring in the kitchen and bathroom to be defective, cracked and spongy. with missing transition and trim. A letter was sent to the property owner on April 19th, 2021, describing the deficiencies with the flooring and trim and the remedial action required. The bylaw division did not receive any communication from the owner. On September 1st, 2021, a confirmation inspection was completed by Patrick Erskine, Municipal Law Enforcement / Property Standards Officer. The inspection revealed that there was no change since the preliminary inspection on April 1st, 2021. The flooring in the kitchen and bathroom is cracked and spongy, and there's also missing transition and trim. It was the decision of the property standards officer to move forward with the issuance of the applicable property standards order. A request was then made to the city's legal department to confirm ownership. Information was returned September 2nd, 2021 that showed the subject property of 95 Spring Street, Brantford, Ontario, to be owned by Kershad Anwar Doust of 96 Dufferin Avenue, Brantford, Ontario. Accordingly, property standards order number 65-21 was issued September 22nd, 2021, requiring the repairs. A notice of appeal was then received by the building department on October 12th, 2021 from the registered owner. The appellant has not indicated their intention in regards with the appeal. At the time of writing, the property remains in non-compliance with both the issued property standards order and the property standards bylaw. He indicates in this file as well that he wants to note that item number 2 had been complied with. So I can inform the committee that I did attend this property in lieu of Patrick today. I did gain access into the unit via the tenant, and she did show me all the issues that you're seeing within the pictures. They all still remain. No work has commenced on these items.
Okay, are there any questions for staff at this time? Ms. Capoli?
Hi, through you, Chair. You say spongy, like, is it wet or is it just loose?
Through the chair to the committee. From my interpretation, when I was there, it just seems like maybe the subfloor is maybe water damaged, or the wood that has been used is not too sturdy and stable. So it kind of has like a flex to the wood, a spongy type feeling when you're standing on it. So I believe it's due to the subfloor.
Ms. Capoli?
Just a follow up to staff. So there's no moisture issue there. It appears dry. That's
From what I observed today, I didn't see any poolage of any water or anything of that nature.
Any further questions for staff? Okay, I will now call upon the agent for the appellant, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, sir, George Ziotek, to address the committee. Could you please provide the committee, sir, with your name and address first?
Hello.
Hello. Could you please provide the committee with your name and address, sir?
Yes, my name is George Ziotek, Ziotek, 10 Humberstone Avenue, Brantford. And I'm the agent for Mr. Anwar Dost.
And what is it that you're asking the committee for this evening, sir?
Well, consideration for the order to be either extremely extended or quashed due to the continued uncooperation of the tenant, because since the original order that was issued in April 19th of 2021, the tenant is not cooperating with the landlord's contractor to come in and do the repairs. So the contractor is extremely frustrated. The owner of this property is extremely frustrated. The woman or the tenant has not paid any rent, if you will, and she's behind to the tune of somewhere around $8,000 so far in rent payment on this property. Every time the contractor went to do the repairs, she would simply say, come back another time, I'm too busy, or I'm not available, this is not convenient, and on and on. So as you can see, the frustration on both the contractor and the owner. The contractor does not have time to go there and play this little game with this lady because she seems to be, well, like I say, very uncooperative, very abusive to the contractor that shows up, and basically disregards any phone calls, any contact from the owner to be able to complete the repairs. And the frustrating part is, and forgive me if I sound like I'm very, very critical here, but we seem to be playing a Keystone Cop affair, as it were. Every time she picks up the phone to call the city, the inspector comes out. Yes, there is an infraction. There is a $125 fine. There's another $125 administrative fee, and on and on and on goes the dance. And basically, this woman is just completely out of line. The owner has submitted a documentation to have the lease or rent, if you will, rental terminated. He's taken her to the court to have her evicted, and the hearing is on November the 30th of this year. And again, she seems to be oblivious to any of these kind of requests, and basically snubbing her nose at everyone except the building inspector or the property standards inspector. It appears that she allows the city to come in, but everyone else, she looks at them as complete jackasses and doesn't cooperate. And again, I apologize for the sort of language that I'm using, but I've dealt with this file for quite some time, and I've been there myself once or twice. And again, as I say, it's a very, very ugly situation.
Okay. If the order is not quashed by the committee, could you give us an actual time frame for an extension that you would be looking at? We need an actual date to consider.
Well, there won't be an actual date until she is evicted. That's the only resolve to this situation. And the eviction, as of the hearing of November the 30th of this year, God only knows how long that will take to process and basically have her out of the building in order for the owner and the contractor to do the required work.
Okay, I understand that, but unfortunately, we need some kind of a time frame to work with here.
Well, in that case, what I would suggest is that perhaps midway through 2022, June, July, as it were, that should be ample enough time to get rid of her and to do the repairs.
Okay.
But again, that's very subject to this hearing that is on November 30th, the Landlord Tenant Act. Because again, I've been told by the owner that this woman is basically using this COVID pandemic as to, well, first of all, not to pay the rent because she can't be thrown out. So there is the, like I say, the Keystone Cop affair of handling this whole situation.
Okay. Do any members of the committee have questions for Mr. Zayotek at this time? Ms. Kaplan?
Good evening, Mr. Zayotek, is that?
Zyotek, yes.
Zyotek, through the chair.
Mr.
Zyotek, can you provide the committee with information regarding notification to the tenant through the Landlord and Tenant Act to enter the unit?
Yes, and I can email that and or mail it to you, whichever you prefer.
My second question, Mr. Zyotek, you stated that you're requesting an extension to mid-June of 2022. 2022. What is the process for eviction on or after November 30th?
Well, once the hearing is held on November the 30th, it will be up to the Landlord and Tenant Act to give a decision on the eviction. Usually it's about 30 to 60 day process. And again, with the owner having to notify the what do you call it? The marshal, I guess it is, to execute the eviction. So,
Sheriff, yeah.
or the sheriff rather. I'm assuming that you know, with that being somewhere in the new year, possibly April, possibly May, then it at least gives the owner May or June thereabouts to, you know, effectively come in and repair the outstanding issues. Again, noting that the owner has completed the repairs aside from the kitchen floor and the trim work in the kitchen. And this is the, again, as I hate to repeat myself, but this is the frustrating part, that she does not allow this to be done by the owner or the contractor.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Are there any other questions this time? Okay, I will entertain a motion from the committee dealing with this order.
Brenda.
Ms. Kaplan?
I would recommend that we adjourn this matter until January, the end of January 30th, 2022.
Do you have a seconder? Ms. Capoli, is there any discussion required on the motion? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Those in favor of adjourning until the end of January? Those opposed? The adjournment is carried.
Okay, the committee's decision has been made on this appeal, and you will receive official notification of the decision from the building department. Should you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with the notification from the building department. As the committee did not quash the order, there is an additional administrative fee of $125, which will be assessed to you. Thank you, sir. Our next hearing is for Property Standards Order 76-21 for 209 Dalhousie Street, Brantford, and I will call upon staff to go through the report.
Thank you. Good evening. Through the chair to the committee, my name is George Cook. I'm a property standards officer for the city of Brantford. On September 15th, 2021, the city of Brantford bylaw department received information regarding property standards deficiencies at a property located at 209 Dalhousie Street, Brantford. Information provided to the city stated that pieces of the house had been falling off from the roof. On September 15, 2021, I attended 209 Dalhousie Street. I immediately observed that the residence appeared to be vacant. The entrances to the home had been boarded up, as well as some of the windows. During my investigation into Property Standards File 21-4617, I observed extensive damage to all visible portions of the roof. The soffit and fascia were dilapidated and large sections were missing, resulting in openings in the roof. During my initial inspection, I observed that a raccoon was perched inside the roof and peering out from one of the openings, which you can see in one of the photos. The porch at the front of the house was not in a safe condition. The boards on the floor were unsteady, and the boards on the ceiling of the porch were falling down. The fascia and soffit of the porch roof were deteriorated. The downpipe on the right side of the porch is detached and leaning over. It was the decision of the bylaw division to move forward with the issuance of a property standards order. A request was made to our legal department to confirm ownership. Information was returned on October 11th, 2021 that showed the registered owner of the property that's located at 201 Dalhousie Street, Brantford, Sasha Setkovic. My apologies if I mispronounced your name. Property Standards Order 7621 was issued on October 15th, 2021, requiring repairs. A notice of appeal was then received by the building department on November 3rd, 2021 from the registered owner. The appellant is requesting additional time to complete the repairs. I attended the property today and observed that the property standards deficiencies remain and that the safety issues of the loose and insecure boards on the roof and on the house on the porch are still present and are deteriorating. That concludes my summary, and thank you, Chair and committee.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff at this time? Ms. Kaplan?
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to staff, can you please provide the committee members with the history of this property and prior work orders, property orders rather?
Sure, just give me a couple minutes and I will provide that.
Brenda, sorry, just through the chair, and while staff are getting that information, you are welcome to ask the appellant to come and make their statement. There will be opportunity to ask staff questions after the fact as well. If you want to do that. Okay, perfect.
Great. Okay, I'll call upon the agent on behalf of the appellant, Lou Svetkovic. And again, I apologize if I mispronounced that, to address the committee. Could you please provide the committee with your name and address, please?
Yeah, hello?
Hello, Mr. Svetkovic?
Yeah.
Could I have you?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Great. Could you please provide the committee with your name and address, sir?
Okay, Lou Svetkovic, 152 Main Street, New Dundee.
Okay, and what are you asking the committee for this evening, sir?
We'd like it to be extended or quashed, possible, or a possible adjournment, because this was just received yesterday, and I talked to the owner, and either way, he wants to either renovate the whole property, and that's going to take financing, because this is this little problem here, eaves troughs and fascia, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The whole thing needs to be renovated, or just demolish it, get a demolition permit, and then build a new building.
Okay. As far as
financing too.
Right. As far as
now, the building's vacant. The building's vacant. Winter's coming. That job is pretty hard to do. There's nothing. It's passing the fascia on. It needs like pretty much half of it has to be reframed. Big job, and it's pretty solid. So there's not going to be any damage more than there is now in the winter. But if you could adjourn it, then I could give you like a definite answer. If he's going to rebuild or fix this building, because it's been vacant for a while, and then
what
it all
kind of
depends
time
on financing and what you can build on that.
Okay. What kind of time frame are you looking at?
For Adjournment?
Or an extension, whichever.
An extension could be done by next year, mid-May, June.
Okay.
June 30 for sure. If he doesn't decide to rebuild.
Okay.
But can we do that? Like, let's say June 30, and then if he decides to get a building permit, we'll let you know. How about that? Is that okay? But right now, it's all vacant.
It's all vacant. Okay.
But that would take 2-3 months just to find out like what could be built on that lot, and then plans to the building department and so on, things like that.
Okay, the committee's going to have some questions.
And then the
for you,
demolition
sir.
permit, and that costs money too, you know.
Yeah.
Pardon?
The committee's going to just have a few questions for you, sir. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Capoli?
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Svetkovic, how long has this property been owned by Mr. Svetkovic?
A long time, over 20 years, 20 something.
And how long has it been vacant?
I don't know, 7-8 years or something. I don't know.
And so you don't have, sorry, just as a follow-up on that then. So up till this point, after receiving the letter from September 15th from the inspection, no real plans for demolition or redevelopment. It's just going to be sitting there vacant again?
No, this letter for the hearing was received yesterday.
Okay, but
And
so
then
up till yesterday, absolutely no plans for this building.
Well, there was plans last year, but then COVID came, and then there was lockdowns, and the owner, he was going to renovate it last year. But it all depends on how much damage is done, because there was no eaves, and then there might be damage to the foundation. We might have to, do that too. Damage inside, and a lot of other things have to be done.
Okay.
So once we assess that, then we'll know to rebuild or to renovate the existing building.
Are there any other questions for the appellants?
Because if we do the soffit and fascia, that's not you can't use it. You can't get any tenants in. If you just do that, you have to do everything.
Are there any other questions for the appellant at this time? Ms. Kaplan?
Yes, through the chair, I am waiting for staff to clarify a previous property standards order, which was issued in 2019, if I am correct. However, Mr. Svetkovic, through the photographs, I've noticed that the building has not been boarded properly, as per code and or bylaws, and has, just to protect the public, but has the owner made notice to the city of Brantford that this property is a vacant property?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
But everyone knows it's vacant. It's the main street there.
From my understanding, it is a requirement that vacant properties are now necessary to be registered with the city of Brantford.
How since when is that? Now, you said?
Yes, I'm not sure when that was
Okay.
instituted.
Okay.
It was this year.
Yeah, okay. Well, if he's going to demolish it, then I don't know. Would you want him to do that still or no? If the building's
That's
going to
not
be
up to
demolished.
us.
Oh.
Are there any other questions for the appellant?
I am waiting on the staff
Yeah.
to clarify.
So, through the chair, to answer your question about previous incidents, we've had previous weeds and waste files in the last few years, but as far as property standards complaints go, in 2019, there was a complaint that the rear wooden deck of the house was in disrepair. In 2019, there was also a property standards complaint about animals getting into the house via the rear of the house. And then 2021, the most recent complaint.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff at this time? Ms. Capoli?
Thank you, Chair. To staff, any concerns? It's partially boarded up. The rest of the windows obviously need to be boarded up if it's going to be vacant. Just I'm concerned about fires, our homeless situation. I just don't want anybody gaining access to that. Has there been a conversation about that?
I haven't spoke with the property owner, and most recently there has been an update. One of the windows has been smashed, but that wasn't present on my first inspection. So I would have to send a further letter about the vacant property and about the broken window.
Ms. Kaplan, did you have a question?
Through the chair to staff. What was the follow-up with the property standards order and the conclusion on that from 2019?
One of the files actually doesn't have a conclusion. And I believe that was the animal file. I don't see any conclusion, but the rear deck in disrepair, I believe, was complied with.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions for either staff or the appellant at this time? Okay, I will entertain a motion from the committee dealing with this appeal. Foley?
Okay, I'm at the appeal filed by Sasha Zvetkvik, owner of 209 Dalhousie Street, Brantford, regarding property standards order 76-21 be denied, and that this order be confirmed and upheld by the Property Standards Committee.
Do we have a seconder? Any discussion required on the motion? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Okay, all those in favor of the order being confirmed and upheld and the appeal being denied? Those opposed? Okay, the item is carried as is.
Thank you. The committee's decision has been made on your appeal. You will receive official notification of our decision from the building department. If you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with the notification from the building department. As the committee did not quash the order, an additional administrative fee of $125 will be assessed. Thank you, sir. Our next hearing is for Property Standards Order 73-21 for 453 Mount Pleasant Road in Brantford. And I will call upon staff for details of the report in this matter. Good evening.
Chair to the committee. My name is Kelsey Spanik. I'm a municipal law enforcement officer and property standards officer for the city of Brantford. On July 28th, 2021, a complaint was received to the City of Brantford Bylaw Department regarding abandoned buildings and exterior violations at 453 Mount Pleasant Road, Brantford, Ontario. On July 29th, 2021, I completed an inspection at 453 Mount Pleasant Road, Brantford, Ontario. The property had multiple buildings on the land which revealed broken windows and missing siding and disrepair. The issuance of a letter was sent to the property owner on August 16th, 2021. No contact was received from the owner of the property within the 14-day time period that was given. On August 30th, 2021, a re-inspection occurred at 453 Mount Pleasant Road, Brantford, Ontario, and no repairs were made to any of the buildings in violation. On August 31st, 2021, a title search was requested and sent to our legal department, which confirmed the ownership to be Chasm 453 Mount Pleasant Group Limited. As a result, Property Standards Order 73-21 was issued on October 6, 2021. A notice of appeal was then received by the building department 26, 2021 from the Chasm land planner on behalf of the registered owner requesting for additional time. As of today, September 17th, 2021, I observed that the property standards violations still existed.
Thank you. Are there questions for staff at this time? Ms. Capoli?
Sorry, thank you, Chair, through you to staff. This looks agricultural. Is it how far down Mount Pleasant Road is it?
Through the chair to the committee, it's just past Conklin Road.
Ms. Capoli?
Sorry, so it used to be agricultural, or how large is this property? Like, they just look like horse buildings is what I'm wondering about.
It's fairly large. The property was gated and locked, so I wasn't able to gain complete access, but it is a fairly large piece of land.
Thank you.
Ms. Kaplan?
Through the chair to staff, how is the property gated and locked?
Sorry?
How is the property gated and locked?
It's gated with a padlock and chain.
Any other questions for staff at this time? Ms. Kaplan?
Is that with wooden fence around the perimeter, or is
Yes.
that chain link?
Wood fence.
Thank you.
Any further questions at this time for staff? Okay, I'll call upon the appellant, Tracy, and again, I apologize if I mispronounce his name, Pilon Abs, on behalf of Laterio Spano to address the committee. Could you please provide the committee with your name and address first?
Thank you. Through you, Mrs. Chair. My name is Tracy Pilon Abs. I am the planner for Kazam Land, and the address is 901 King Street West in Toronto. That's their main office.
Okay, thank you. And what are you asking the committee for this evening?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. We're asking for a 6-month extension. A little background on this, Kazam Land, under the name of 453 Mount Pleasant GP Limited, had taken possession as a developer in June of 2021. We were in the process of negotiating the land designation from agriculture to residential as part of the city's official plan amendment, their 5-year comprehensive review. It was unsuccessful at that time, and we have had a meeting on November 4th with city planners to discuss the next steps, and it would be to do an official plan amendment. So we wanted to have an idea of whether we were going to keep this agricultural or if we were going to have to process an application for official plan amendment for residential development. It is proposed, and we do have a concept plan for a residential development for the area. So what we just like to do is, because we are new owners and we've inherited these buildings, we'd like to have some time to just assess the buildings and the property and do the work. We don't have intentions of repairing it. We just want to be able to see what is best for the property, either boarding up the windows or demolishing the properties in preparation for future development. And the property is 6.53 hectares in size, and it is in a designation that is a holding part of the trigger land. So we are waiting for development to occur elsewhere for us to be able to proceed with this development. So we're just going to hold on to it until we become the next kind of capable lands to be able to develop. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, you had said you're looking for a 6-month extension, so you're looking at towards the end of May 2022, I take it?
Correct, thank you.
Okay, questions for the appellant at this time? No questions? No questions. Okay, I will entertain a motion dealing with this appeal. Ms. Kaplan?
Oops, sorry.
Ms. Kaplan? Did you have a motion?
Oh, did you not hear?
No.
Oh, gosh.
My apologies. I didn't realize you were actually speaking.
I thought I did unmute. My apologies.
That's okay.
Yes, that oh gosh, one moment. I just need to get that the property standards order 7321 be allowed and the order confirmed, but that an extension be granted to May 31st, 2022.
Do we have a seconder? Is there any discussion required on the motion? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Those in favor of the extension until May of 2022? Okay, those opposed? Okay, the item is carried.
Okay, the committee's decision has been made on your appeal. You will receive official notification of our decision from the building department. If you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with a notification from the building department. As the committee did not quash the order, an additional administrative fee of $125 will be assessed. Thank you very much. Our next hearing is for Property Standards Order 81-21 for 475 Colburn Street, Brantford. And I will call upon staff to provide us with details of the report in this matter.
Through the chair to the committee, my name is Kelsey Spanik. I'm a municipal law enforcement officer and property standards officer for the city of Brantford. We are here today due to a property standards complaint that was received to the bylaw department on September 21st, 2021, requesting an interior inspection for 475 Colburn Street, Brantford, Ontario. On September 22nd, 2021, I completed the interior inspection with the tenant's consent and presence to enter the property. An inspection of the interior revealed the property standards violations, a hole in the bottom of the screen door located at the rear side under the carport, cracks and holes on the interior walls and ceiling once entering the unit, laminate floor tiles chipped, cracked, and missing, door frame in the hallway before entering the bathroom missing materials and not finished, bathroom sink pipes leaking. When the tap is turned on, water pours out of the pipes into the bowl the tenant has been using to catch the water. Faucet in the bathroom, it was in disrepair. Bathtub walls in disrepair, walls above bathtub cracking. Kitchen cupboards have mold inside them, and drywall and plaster is cracked and deteriorating. The basement door is broken. The door is off the bottom hinge. Ducts in the basement in disrepair. Entire ceiling in the living room has approximately a 2-inch gap from the walls, and the staircase to go upstairs is in disrepair, buckles when stepping on it. A bedroom in the lower level has a missing window, is currently using a plastic tarp to cover the opening, and closet ceiling in the bedroom is deteriorating. Additionally, an inspection occurred on the exterior of the building, revealing eaves trough on the side of the house is in disrepair along the carport, cracked foundation through the lower portion of the building, and downspout in the rear yard in disrepair. On October 1st, 2021, I conducted a joint inspection with the building inspector employed by the city of Brantford to inspect the 2-inch gap in the ceiling and staircase going upstairs. The inspector did not deem these issues to be unsafe. Throughout the week of October 4th to 8th, Olivia Humphreys attempted to contact me on behalf of the property owner, Jerry Radlow. I did not receive her calls due to being at a training course for the work that week. Senior Municipal Law Enforcement and Property Standards Officer Jordan Tozer contacted Ms. Humphreys on October 8th and advised her of the Property Standards Order process. On October 12th, 2021, Ms. Humphreys had the same, was provided the same information and was explained the process. She advised me that the tenant, there was a tentative sale in the house and no repairs would be made by them. The new owners would be taking on the repairs, and at that time, no arrangements for repairs had been made. On October 14th, a re-inspection occurred at 475 Colburn Street, Brantford, Ontario, with the presence of the tenant, and no violations had been repaired or replaced. On October 14th, a title search was requested by our legal department, which confirmed ownership to still be Jerry Radlow. As a result, Property Standards Order number 81-21 was issued on October 18th. On October 26th, the notice of appeal was then received by the building department on behalf of Olivia Humphreys, on behalf of Jerry Radlow. A recent inspection occurred today, confirming that none of these violations have been corrected. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have questions for staff at this time? No questions? Okay, I will call upon the appellant, Jerry Radlow, and his agent, Olivia Humphreys, to address the committee. Could I please have both of you provide your names and addresses, please?
Good evening, Madam Chair and panelists or committee members. Just as a preliminary issue.
Could I please have you, just for the minutes, please provide your name and address?
Yes. My name is Olivia Humphreys, and I live at 800 2nd Concession Road, ENR, Langton, Ontario. I am the paralegal and daughter-in-law of the appellant, Jerry Radlow.
And what is it that you're asking the committee for this evening?
This evening, we're asking for this order to be quashed, and I have a couple of preliminary matters to address with respect to the evidence that Ms. Spanik gave.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Just to address the evidence that Ms. Spanik gave, I would take exception to the fact that she claims that no work was to be done, when I in fact had a discussion with her and did send her a confirming email with respect to contacting contractors and being unable to do so, and with her not putting a notice of absence on her voicemail and the very tight time constraints. So I just wanted that noted on record, please. And now I'll proceed with the appellant's evidence.
Okay, go ahead.
So on or about October the 1st, 2021, Mr. Radlow received the letter from Ms. Spanik, which is correct. She was away, and that's true. I did speak to Mr. Tozer on the 8th. I wasn't able to get in touch with, I'm sorry, I don't recall Jill's last name, but I understand that she's Ms. Spanik's manager. But I did receive a call from Mr. Tozer on that regard. The purpose of the appeal today is to have the order quashed. The house was sold on March 31st, 2021. The tenant has been very difficult, been denying access to the property. The purchaser is online as well. I don't know if she should be let in or not, but she is here to provide evidence if required. We're seeking the order to be quashed as the purchaser viewed the property, and the sale was to initially close on July the 9th, 2021. The tenant had agreed to move out and then denied access to the premises. The closing date was extended to August 31, 2021, and then to October 4th, 2021. And now we've moved it to November 30th, 2021. On June the 7th, 2021, an emergency application was made to the Landlord and Tenant Board, and a hearing was completed on November the 5th, 2021. The chair has reserved her decision. We don't have a decision yet. This is potentially holding up the closing date. I'd like to add that the purchaser is homeless as a result of the tenant not vacating the premises and allowing the purchase to be completed. And I understand that the purchaser is here to say that she's viewed the property and is aware of the deficiencies in the property and has purchased the home as is. And it wasn't, I may add, until, as Ms. Spanik said, September the 21st, when the tenant of 17 years in this home reported the building to the Property Standards Office. And this is a result of the tenant refusing to move out of the premises. Those are my submissions, subject to anything that Mr. Radlow says he has nothing to say at this point. And I don't know if the purchaser has anything that she'd like to add to this. Her name is Miss Smith.
If I could just ask the clerk, will we be calling on the purchaser?
Through the chair, if the appellant would like to do so, and again, just being aware that the matter is currently being live streamed to YouTube as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
If she would like to speak, if she could state her name and address for the record, and then let us know what she would like to say.
Thank you. And that would be Miss C. Smith.
And what is it that she would like to tell the committee?
I'm sorry, I don't see her in the, I'm looking for her and she may be trying to unmute herself. C. Smith is probably who she's listed, but her surname is Crozier.
Okay, she's here now.
Oh, hi.
Ms. Crozier?
Yes.
Could I have you state your name and address for the record, please?
Cindy Crozier, 164 East Avenue, Brantford, Ontario.
Okay, and what would you like the committee to know this evening?
That I have viewed this property twice and I know the condition. According to the pictures, I've taken pictures twice of this house, inside and out, and there is some damage that hasn't been there before. I was just viewing my pictures right now, and but then again, I don't know. They have their house packed full of boxes, so it could have been hiding a lot of stuff, right? But like she said, I bought this house as is. I know what I'm getting into, and it's been almost a year now, and yeah, it needs to. It would be nice to get this settled. Like she said, I am living off of my friends' couches, so I'm all over the place right now.
Okay.
If there's any other questions, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, are there questions for either the appellant or Ms. Crozier at this time? Ms. Capoli?
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Crozier, so there is like a signed agreement of purchase and sale it's just that closing dates have been postponed, I guess, due to the tenant not vacating. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Ms. Humphries?
Yes, Madam Chair, to address Committee Member Capaldi, we did provide a package to your office, and I did confirm with your office on Monday of this week that you have a copy of the agreement of purchase and sale signed on March the 31st, 2021, with a closing date of July 9th, 2021, and the extension to August 31st, and the extension to October 4th. I'm unsure whether or not you've received the November 30th extension of the closing.
Any other questions at this time? Ms. Kaplan? You're on mute.
Now?
You're fine.
Okay. Through the chair to Cindy Crozier, have you signed an extension for closing to November the 30th, 2021?
I believe I have. I have all my emails, all the extensions, everything. And
a purchase.
I've signed
you would not
so
be
many
aware?
extensions. I'm starting to lose track here.
Extension to purchase, has one been signed?
Document has been signed. Yes, it has been signed.
Any other questions for the appellant or Ms. Humphries?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If the committee members and the chair would like to see another copy, I can scan and email it, but it should be contained in the package, although I said I'm unsure whether or not it was there, but I can have that emailed into the office as soon as possible if that's required.
Okay.
But I believe Ms. Crozier's confirmed that November 30th is it. Mr. Radlow, oh, sorry. Mr. Radlow, can you tell the Madam Chair and the committee the closing date of the latest closing date of 475 Colburn Street East?
As I understand it, is November 30th of 2021.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions for either the appellant or Ms. Crozier at this time? I will entertain a motion from the committee dealing with this order. Ms. Capoli?
Okay. Yeah, my concern is that there is still a tenant there, but that this appeal filed by Olivia Humphries on behalf of Jerry Radlow, owner of 475 Colburn Street, Brantford, Ontario, be allowed, and that the order be confirmed and upheld by the Property Standards Committee, and that the following extension of time be granted to address these outstanding issues contained in Property Standards Orders, let's see, 8121. And I'm going to go to end of February 28th. That's a weekday.
2022?
Yes, 2022, February 28th, 2022.
Do we have a seconder? Any discussion required on the motion? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Through the chair, just a point of clarification, that's extension for all items.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So extension for all items until February of 28, 2022. Those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, the item is carried.
Okay, the committee's decision has been made on your appeal. You will receive official notification of the decision from the building department. If you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with the notification that you received from the building department. As the committee did not quash the order, an additional administrative fee of $125 will be assessed. Thank you very much. Our next hearing is for Property Standards Order 75-21 for 489 Colburn Street, Brantford. and I will call upon staff to provide a report in this matter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So through the chair to the committee, on August 24th, 2021, I received a complaint about 489 Colburn Street in Brantford, Ontario, in regards to the exterior of the building. It should be noted, this property and its owners, Wayne Paley and Leanne Paley, have failed to comply with a previous property standards order, number 4520, to repair or demolish the fire damaged building. The outstanding matters of Order 4520 from March 31st, 2020 are the same of the current order. The order of 4520 was appealed on April 17th, 2020 and heard by the Property Standards Appeal Committee on July 16th, 2020. The committee did uphold the order in its entirety and extended the due date to October 19th, 2020. So in this particular case, I received the complaint August 24th, 2021. I attended the property at the same day, and I observed a front porch and entranceway tarped off with large green and brown tarps. Behind the tarps in question was a boarded up front entranceway and door. I also observed boarded up windows on the exterior of the property, as well as a boarded side door. The front porch of the property was in a state of disrepair, as well as the porch soffit. The building was observed to have visible fire damage on or around all exterior openings. On this day, I spoke with owner Wayne Paley and explained the violations I observed. It was explained to me that the windows and doors were to be repaired that following weekend. As a standard practice, a preliminary letter was sent out August 26th to the property owners detailing the requirement to repair or demolish the fire damaged portions of the building. The building in question is a 2-story brick residential home. No communication was received from any persons regarding this property during the 14 days allotted by the letter. I completed a re-inspection at 489 Colburn Street in Brantford on September 14th, 2021. I observed the property in the exact same state as the initial inspection of August 26, 2021. On this date, I spoke to both owners, and they advised me that the windows and doors were to be installed by the end of the following week. Due to the damage remaining in its current fire damaged state with no progress towards compliance, it was the decision of the building department to proceed to issue the applicable property standards order. A request was then made to the city's legal and real estate department to undertake a title search to confirm the ownership. The information was returned on September 16th, 2021, which showed the subject property, known municipally as 489 Colburn Street in Brantford, to be jointly owned by Wayne Paley and Leanne Paley of Brantford. Accordingly, Property Standards Order 7521 was issued October 15th, 2021 to the registered owners detailing the requirement to repair or demolish the fire damaged building. The final date for filing an appeal was November 3rd, 2021. A notice of appeal was filed on November 4th, 2021, requesting additional time to bring the property into compliance. At the time of writing this report, the property remains in violation of both the Property Standards Order and the City of Brantford's Property Standards Bylaw. I did attend the property today. 3 of the upper windows shown actually in that last photo have windows put in, and 1 window is put in on the right side. There's approximately 11 outstanding boarded windows and doors remaining. And that concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Questions for staff at this time? Ms. Capoli.
Thank you, Chair, through you, Chair, to staff. So there is, I know the property, and so there was extensive damage. So there is progress going, like there are new windows going in. Has there been any work done on the inside to, like it's a physically safe structure to remain standing? I guess is what I'm asking.
Through the chair to the committee, the progress has occurred in the last, I want to say 30 days or so. The windows have been put in. Since the reinspection about 30 days ago, there's been additional progress. I have never gained access to the interior of the property, nor has the previous officer who issued the previous outstanding property standards order. It's been approximately 20 months since that previous order.
Any further questions for staff? Okay, I will call upon the appellant, Leanne Paley, to address the committee. Could you please provide the committee with your name and address first?
Hello?
Hello, Ms. Paley.
Yes.
Could I please have you provide the committee with your name and address, please?
Leanne Paley, 489 Colburn Street East, Brantford, Ontario.
Thank you. And what is it that you're asking the committee for this evening?
My husband will speak on behalf of me.
Okay, so it has been a slow progress.
Sorry, sir. Could I just, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Could I just have you state your name and address for the record, please, sir?
Oh, okay, it's Wayne Paley, 489 Colburn Street East, Brantford, Ontario.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so the progress has been slow due to the previous COVID and all that other stuff, but now things have opened up, and we've been restoring the windows to put the house back to the way the property was prior to the fire. We'd like to put the gingerbread stuff and all of that back, but we've also thought maybe of selling the property, and we've talked with a few contractors and some real estate agents as well, because it's taken us a lot longer than we thought it would to restore it back to the way it was. Because when I spoke with a heritage committee lady, she was happy to hear that I was going to return the gingerbread and all the stuff that was on the house. The time frame for me to get it done has taken a bit of time, and obviously I guess there's some neighbors or somebody who's unhappy with it. And I would really like to get the exterior at least done to make it so that people are happy and it looks like a nice house for the neighbors too, as well as anybody that's selling in the area. They probably want my property to be up to standard for that. So I am looking at potentially selling it. I'm in talks with some developers and some real estate agents, or some developers to help get the thing done and properly with all the city bylaws and codes and whatnot. I had hopes of restoring it back to the way it was, so it matched the house exactly the way it was before the fire. I'd appreciate at least some time to continue some talks with some of the developers and some real estate agents to move forward with this, to keep the city happy and to keep the neighbors happy.
Okay, what length of time are you looking at for an extension?
If I could please get 6 months time to talk with the people. I don't know how long it takes to move a property. Sometimes that can take time. During the course of that time, I'll make sure that the property continues to get windows put in it, get the doors put in it, get the porch painted, and bring it back to looking like the facade, at least, of the house will be happy for the neighbors and everybody in the area and those concerned, because there is a house next door, I believe, that's up for sale. And it would probably be better if the property is looking nice for them as well, too, for them to be able to sell their property as well.
Okay. Okay, do we have questions for the appellant at this time? Ms. Capoli?
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Paley, have you been dealing through your insurance company for these repairs, or is this something that you're attempting to do on your own?
Oh, okay, so
We've been doing it on our own.
Yeah, we've been doing it on our own. That's why I've spoke with some developers and contractors and that to bring them in to help move this process faster.
Is there any other questions for the appellant? Okay. I will entertain a motion from the committee dealing with this matter. Ms. Capoli?
Sorry, can I just ask one more question?
Absolutely, sure.
Do you have a time frame for the remainder of the windows for the exterior work in the porch? Mr. Paley?
I'm trying to unmute. Am I unmuted now?
Yeah, you can go ahead, sir.
Hello?
You can go
Hello?
ahead.
Okay. Could the person repeat that question? I couldn't hear as the.
Sure, no problem.
Sure, Mr. Paley. Do you have a time frame? So you have some windows in. Do you have a time frame for having the remainder of the windows and the front porch repaired?
I have the material to get it done, and that's why I'm in talks with the developer and that. So I need at least a couple of months to pick the right contractor, as one guy had brought in basically didn't do it properly, but now I've met through family members and that proper contractors, ones that will do the work properly.
Are there any other questions from the committee? Okay, if I could have a motion dealing with this order, please. Ms. Capoli?
We've done this one already, but that the appeal filed by, Wayne Paley and Leanne Paley, owners of 489 Colburn Street in Brantford, regarding property standards order 75-21. Be allowed, and that the order be confirmed and upheld by the Property Standards Committee. But the following extension of time be granted to address. This is where I'm having issues. Sorry, I want to have different timeframes for the repairs.
Okay.
I believe the tarp blocking the egress, 30 days. Doors and windows that have deteriorated. So item 1, 90 days. Let's see, item 3 is the deterioration of the porch. I believe 2, 3, and 4 are all related, at least to the, sorry, I'm going through these right now. And number 5, of course, the 90 days again with the fire damage. So items 2, 3, and 4, 30 days. Items 1 and 5, 90 days. If that makes sense.
Okay, we should maybe put some dates on those.
Sorry, yeah. December, okay, so December 31st for items 2, 3, and 4. Items 1 and 5. February 28th, please.
Okay, do we have a seconder on that motion? Ms. Kaplan, is there any discussion required? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Okay, so those in favor of an extension for items 1 and 5 until February 28th, 2022, and items 2, 3, and 4 for an extension of 30 days until December 31st, 2021. Those in
No,
favor?
I don't think that's what it was,
Okay,
actually.
I wanted to check. I wasn't sure.
That's
Sorry.
fine.
So 1 and 5 would be, that's what I caught it, 90 days for February 28th,
right,
2022. Okay, and then 2, 3, and 4 is 30 days, so until December 31st.
Yes.
Okay, so 1 and 5, 90, 2, 3, and 4, 30.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so all those in favor? Okay, those opposed? Okay, and the item is carried.
Thank you. Okay, the committee's decision has been made on your appeal. You will receive official notification of our decision from the building department. If you wish to appeal the decision to the Superior Court, instructions will be sent with the notification from the building department. As the committee did not quash the order, there is an additional administrative fee of $125, which will be assessed to you. Thank you very much. Could I please have a mover and a seconder for the minutes from our previous meeting? Moved by Tamara Capoli, seconded by Susan Kaplan. Any errors or omissions to be noted? I will ask the clerk to call the vote.
Those in favor of the minutes? Those opposed? Okay, the item is carried.
Okay. Ms. Binkley, are there any updates you would like to provide the committee with on previous appeals?
No updates this evening, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, there are appeals that have been received. So the committee will be canvassed for a new meeting date in the coming days. So that will happen shortly. Having concluded the business of the committee, this meeting is hereby adjourned. Thank you very much and have a good evening.